Dear students, welcome to Gnana Taranga, CET and NEET classes conducted by Department of Pre-University, Karnataka. I am Prakash Kumar. In this session, I will discuss some questions related to the first two chapters of 2nd PUC, Chapter 1, Reproduction in Flowering Plants, and Chapter 2, Chapter 1, Reproduction in Organisms, Chapter 2, Reproduction in Flowering Plants. See, when you turn the pages, your Chapter 1 starts with the definition for lifespan. As you know, lifespan is the period from birth to natural death of an organism. See, there are organisms like bacteria and plasmodium for which you cannot mention the lifespan because they are immortal. They don't die only. Naturally, they don't die, but you can kill by using some chemicals also. But naturally, they don't have any lifespan. Anyway, in this first chapter, we discuss about the definition of lifespan and the three phases of life cycle, that is juvenile phase, reproductive phase and senescent phase. Then we also discuss about types of reproduction, asexual and sexual reproduction. We talk about different asexual reproductive structures found in organisms. Then we talk about vegetative propagules in plants. Then we talk about different stages of fertilization in sexually reproducing individuals, which includes pre-fertilization events in organisms like gametogenesis and gametransfer, fertilization events that includes external and internal fertilization and also formation of the zygote, and post-fertilization events which includes the development of the zygote and also embryogenesis. See, when you look into the lifespan, see, to answer certain questions on the lifespan, you need to know about the lifespan of the organisms. See, as you know, it is very difficult to recall the names of lifespan of all the organisms. At least you have to prepare for the lifespan of the organisms which are given in your NCERT book. So let me start with the first question. Match the animals in column 1 with their lifespan in column 2 and choose the correct option. See, in column 1, the animals are given. In column 2, lifespans are given. So you should know about the lifespan of the organisms, then only this question can be easily answered. See, crow has the lifespan of 15 years. Next, parrot has the maximum lifespan, that is around 150 years. Then crocodile has 60 years. Dog is having 20 years, whereas elephant is around 65 to 90 years. So this is a match the type following type of question. Therefore, the answer for this question is the D. This question can also be asked in the other way. So let us look into the second question. So select the option which correctly arranges the given organisms in ascending order of their lifespan. See, here I have given different plants as well as the insects and also the animals, where you need to, and all these are those which are there in your NCERT book, so for which you need to know about the lifespan of these organisms, then this question can be easily answered. See, banana plant has a lifespan of 2 to 3 years, rice plant has 3 to 7 months, banyan tree has more than 700 years, fruit fly has 20 to 30 days, butterfly has 7 to 15 days, crow has 15 years, parrot 150, tortoise 140, elephant 65, lion is 25, ostrich 50, crocodile 60. But here the question says, arrange the organisms in the ascending order, so that is from least to the highest. Therefore, lion has 25, ostrich 50, crocodile 60. Therefore, the answer is the D. Suppose if the question is asked in the descending order, that is from highest to least, then your answer should be the C. If it is descending order, if it is ascending order, then your answer should be the D. So D for the ascending order, C for the descending order. Third question, say as 1.1 we study about asexual reproduction. To answer this question, you need to know about the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. So out of these 4 options, one of the option is wrong. So which of the following option is incorrect or wrong with respect to the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction? So first option, asexual reproduction uniparental, whereas sexual reproduction uniparental or biparental. See, when you consider uniparental, It is also possible because in case of hermaphrodites, the sexual reproduction may take place. Monoecious or hermaphrodite, therefore it can be uniparental or biparental. Somatic cells are involved, germ cells are involved, this is also correct. Offsprings are genetically similar to plants and they are similar, so which can be called as clones here. Offsprings are genetically dissimilar to the parents because the genetic recombination takes place during the gamete formation during meiosis, therefore all the three statements are correct. The rate of reproduction is slow here. See, this is the wrong thing. It should be faster. Asexual reproduction is faster, whereas the rate of reproduction in sexual reproduction is slow because the organisms have to grow, mature, it has to produce the gametes, therefore it takes more time. Therefore, with respect to the question, the answer is 4. It is the incorrect statement. We shall move on to the next question. Match the items in column 1 with the column 2 and choose the correct option. In column 1, various asexual reproductive structures are given. In column 2, various organisms are given. See, to answer these type of questions, so you need to know about the asexual reproductive structures, not just which are given only in your second PUC. You need to have the link with the first PUC topics also. So, chapter 2 and 3, where we discuss about the asexual reproductive structures of plants and even the lower organisms, which you need to know. See, when it comes to binary fission, see, binary fission is a process where a parental cell divides to produce two daughter cells which are similar cells. Binary fission, the more common type of binary fission in amoeba is a binary fission when the conditions are favorable. But when the conditions are unfavorable, the amoeba goes for multiple fission. It goes for encystation followed by the sporulation, that is multiple fission. And with respect to the binary fission, in euglena undergoes longitudinal fission, whereas in paramecium it undergoes transverse binary fission. In planaria, multiple transverse fission can also be seen. But here, binary fission goes with the amoeba. Whereas zoospores are the motile spores mainly produced in the lower organisms like algae. So, in Chlamydomonas we can come out with zoospores. So, zoospores for algae, these are motile flagellated spores which are endogenous in origin, they are produced inside. Conidia are the asexual reproductive structures found in fungi, particularly the ascomycetes and also the deuteromycetes. The conidia are the reproductive structures, therefore conidia goes with the penicillium, which is an ascomycete. Then budding can be seen in case of hydra. Budding is also a type of reproduction, asexual reproduction even in the yeast. Then gemmules are also called as internal buds, which goes with the sponge. Therefore, the answer is, so A with 2, this is A, then B with 1, then conidia, penicillium, that is C, then budding, D, gemmules, that is E, so it should be BADCE. 1, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಇದು ಸರ್ ಕೈ ಎತ್ಬಿಡಿ. So the answer is 2. So you shall move on to the next question. See, here I have mixed some of the options from your first PUC. Match the column 1 with the column 2 and select the correct option from the following. Sporangiospores can be seen in case of the phycomycetes like rhizopus. So A goes with the 2. So A goes with the 2. So B is the answer. Zoospore, an algae like Eulothrix. Conidia, you already know, conidia can be seen in penicillium, belongs to ascomycetes and also deuteromycetes. Multiple fission can be seen in planaria. Okay, question number 5. Match the column 1 with the column 2 and select the correct option from the following options. In column 1, different asexual reproductive structures are given. In column 2, the organisms are given. Sporangiospores are the asexual spores found in phycomycetes, a fungi. So one of the example for phycomycete is rhizopus. Therefore, sporangiospore go with the rhizopus. Zoospores, which I already discussed in the previous slide, these are motile endogenous spores which are very common in algae. So one of the example of algae is Eulothrix here. Therefore, zoospore goes with the Eulothrix. Conidia are immotile spores which are formed in penicillium, which belongs to ascomycetes, and even in deuteromycetes, the asexual reproduction takes place by conidia, where you don't find sexual reproduction. Therefore, deuteromycetes are also called as fungi imperfecti. So conidia goes with the penicillium. Multiple fission. So multiple fission can be seen in case of amoeba and also in plasmodium. So when the conditions are not favorable, so amoeba goes for the multiple fission. So encystation occurs followed by the sporulation, and even in plasmodium, so erythrocytic schizogony and also hepatocyte schizogony, which are multiple fission. Therefore, multiple fission can be seen in plasmodium. You can also see multiple fission in amoeba. Then regeneration, regeneration can be seen in planaria, which belongs to flatworms, that is Platyhelminthes. See, planaria, even when a planaria body is cut into fragments, each fragment may develop into a new planaria, so which is called as morpholaxis. So when a cut part can be developed into a complete organism, we call it as morpholaxis. Suppose if a last part is regenerated, only if the last part is regenerated, it is called as epimorphosis. Epimorphosis is a condition where the last part is regenerated. Morpholaxis is a condition where the fragment will develop into a complete organism. Therefore, for this question, the answer is B. We shall move on to the next question. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Basidiospores are sexual spores. Basidiospores are the sexual spores produced by the basidiomycetes. As you know, in basidiomycetes and ascomycetes, the plasmogamy and the karyogamy are the special features. In ascomycetes, the ascospores are the sexual spores. In basidiomycetes, basidiospores are the sexual spores. Therefore, the first statement is correct. Zygospores are sexual spores. Of course, zygospores are the sexual spores which are formed by the fusion of gametes, characteristic of phycomycetes. Therefore, even this statement is also correct. Aplanospores are asexual spores. Of course, the planospores are asexual spores found in the phycomycete. Therefore, all these three statements are correct. But which one of the statement is incorrect? The incorrect statement is zoospores are sexual spores. Actually, these are not sexual spores. These are asexual spores found in algae. So, they are asexual spores, zoospores. Therefore, with respect to the above question, the answer is D. So, D is the answer. We shall move on to the next question. Which of the following pairs of asexual reproductive structures found in animals? So, you need to concentrate on the question. It is only in the animals. Conidia can be seen in fungi. Buds can be seen in hydra, of course. Buds can be seen in animals, even in hydra and also in sponges, internal buds. But here conidia can be seen in plants. Therefore, this cannot be the option. Buds and gemmules. So, gemmules are the internal buds found in the sponges, the animals. Buds in hydra. Therefore, these two structures are found in animals. That should be the answer. Zoospores again in lower algae. Again gemmules and zoospores. Zoospores comes under algae. Therefore, the structures that can be seen only in animals are buds and gemmules. Therefore, the answer is buds and gemmules. Next question. Which of the following vegetative propagules are found in agave and water hyacinth plants respectively? See here, as an example I have given for agave and water hyacinth, where you need to know about all vegetative propagules of the organisms which are given in your book. So, bulbil is a vegetative propagule of agave, correct. But runner can be a vegetative propagule of grasses and even gladiolus and oxalis. So, it is not a vegetative propagule of water hyacinth. Offset for water hyacinth, bulbil for agave. See here, agave and water hyacinth you have to write respectively. Therefore, agave it should be bulbil, water hyacinth offset. So, this is the correct answer. Sucker can be seen in chrysanthemum. Therefore, for this question, the correct option is C, that is bulbil and offset. We shall move on to the next question. Here I have given the diagrams. You have to choose the correct option. See, this is a potato. Potato is a modified shoot which grow by the growth of the buds. Therefore, it is a tuber. So, in the given 4 options, A and D has the tuber. Let us see the second one. Second one is the ginger. It is the rhizome. So, tuber and rhizome. These two are correct. Stolon cannot be the correct answer. Therefore, the answer has to be the D. Then this is agave bulbil correct. So, epiphyllous blood in bryophyllum, leaf buds correct. This is water hyacinth, offset correct. Therefore, the answer is the D. D is the answer. D is the answer. Next question. What will be the chromosome number in the endosperm of composite flowering plant developed by grafting if stalk and scion having chromosome number 20 and 30 respectively? During the process of grafting, you have to select a plant which can absorb the better nutrients, which can be called as the stalk, and the good quality plant which you transfer is called as the graft, or you can call it as scion. In the question, the stalk has 20 chromosomes, this is the 2n number, whereas the graft has 30. So, 2n number is 30. Always the characteristic of the fruit or the flower depends on the scion, not the stalk. Stalk will provide only the nourishment, but the genetic property of the fruits and flowers depends on the scion. Here the question is endosperm. Endosperm is diploid. The 2n number is 30. Therefore, 3n should be 45. 45 should be the answer. Therefore, here the answer is C, that is 45. We shall move on to the next question. In which of the following pairs of animals does the process of menstrual cycle occur? See, menstruation is the cyclical changes that occur in ovaries, ovarian cycle we call, and in accessory reproductive duct, mainly in the uterus, which we call it as uterine cycle. In the reproductive system of female primates is called as menstrual cycle, which you don't find in non-primates. So, here cow and rats, they are not primates. Therefore, menstrual cycle cannot be seen in cows and rats, where we make out estrous cycle. Apes, ape is a primate but dog is not a primate. Dogs and cows are non-primates. Monkey and apes are the primates. Therefore, the menstrual cycle should occur in monkeys and apes. In estrous cycle, we classify the organisms into monoestrous, diestrous and polyestrous. So, monoestrous organisms are the deers which show single estrous cycle in a year, whereas dogs show 2 estrous cycles which are diestrous cycle, whereas rats or mouse show polyestrous cycle. With respect to the above question, menstrual cycle is occurring in monkeys and apes. We will move on to the next question. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the event that takes place during sexual reproduction? See, as you know, the events of sexual reproduction can be classified into pre-fertilization events, fertilization events and post-fertilization events. Pre-fertilization events includes gamete formation and gamete transfer. Fertilization events includes the formation of zygote during the external and internal fertilization. Post-fertilization events includes the zygote development and embryogenesis. Here the first option says during post-fertilization events, gamete and zygote formation takes place. So, during the post-fertilization events, it is not the formation of the zygote, it is the development of the zygote. Gamete formation takes place during the pre-fertilization events. Therefore, this statement is wrong. During pre-fertilization events, formation and transfer of gametes occur. So, this is the correct statement. Third option, during pre-fertilization event, the zygote formation is not a pre-fertilization event. Therefore, this is wrong. During post-fertilization events, transfer of gamete is also a pre-fertilization event. Therefore, this statement is wrong. Therefore, the answer for this question is D. During pre-fertilization event, the formation of gametes and the transfer of gametes takes place. We will move on to the next question. Arrange the following in the increasing order of chromosome number in meiocytes. See, meiocyte is always a diploid cell that produces the gametes by the process of meiosis. See, humans, as you know, the 2n number, human there is 46. 46 is the 2n number in case of human beings. Housefly has 12 chromosomes, whereas rat has around 42 chromosomes, butterfly has 380 chromosomes, dog has around 78 chromosomes. So 46, 12, 42, 380, 78. Here the question is increasing order. Increasing order means least to highest. That is ascending order. So increasing order can also be called as ascending order. Therefore, first one is ascending, least to highest. So B, that is 12. After 12, 42, that is C. After that, A. After that, E. After that, D. So B, C, A, E, D. Therefore, the answer for this question is A. Suppose if the question is in the descending order, then your answer should be D, A, C, B. D, A, C, B if the question is descending order. So for this question, the answer is A. We shall move on to the next question. Write the following organisms in the ascending order based on the number of chromosomes present in their meiocyte. So it is another way of asking the same question. So to answer this question, you need to know about the chromosome number in the meiocyte of all these organisms. See, apple has around 34 chromosomes. So I'll take it once again. Slide. Apple has the chromosome number 34. Rice has the chromosome number 24. Maize has the chromosome number 20. This is a diploid number. Housefly has the chromosome number 12. Fruit fly has the chromosome number 8. Butterfly has the chromosome number 380. Cat has the chromosome number 38. Rat has the chromosome number 42. Dog has the chromosome number 78. Whereas onion, the diploid number is 16. But in the old NCERT books, the haploid number is given as 16, but actually it is a diploid number is 16, haploid number is 8. Ophioglasm is the highest, a fern with the 1260 chromosomes, diploid number, potato 48. So when you look into this, so you have to write the ascending order, that is least to the highest. So cat 38, rat 42, 78 highest. Therefore, for this question, the correct answer is the C, cat, rat and dog. We shall move on to the next question. So here I have given the lifespan, meiocyte number for different organisms. Next slide. The isogametes are produced in. Isogametes are also called as homogametes, where sperm and the egg look alike. They are similar. So the gametes can be classified into isogametes, where sperm and the egg cannot be differentiated, which are similar. They can be classified into anisogametes, where sperm is smaller, egg is larger. In their shape, both are spherical, both are immotile, but the egg is larger, sperm is small. Oogametes, in oogametes, they are totally different. The sperm and the egg are totally different. The sperm is active, egg is inactive, sperm is motile, egg is immotile. The fusion of these isogametes is called as isogamy. The fusion of anisogametes is called as anisogamy, and the fusion of oogametes is called as oogamy. So which can be seen in higher plants and animals. Say isogametes. So in fucus, it is oogamy. Spirogyra, it is isogamy. Chara oogamy. Bryophytes oogamy. Therefore, isogametes can be seen in Spirogyra. Therefore, the answer is Spirogyra. Next question. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Cladophora produces homogametes. See, Cladophora and even Chlamydomonas produce homogametes. Homogametes are also called as isogametes. Therefore, this is the correct statement. Neelakuranji will flower in October and September 2018. So that is the next month. So you have all possibilities. If you go to the hilly regions of the Kerala and hilly regions of Tamil Nadu and even Karnataka, you can see the flowers which bloom in the next month, October and September 2018. Because Neelakuranji is a perennial polycarpic plant which produces the flowers once in 12 years. Last time is flowered in the year 2006. Therefore, this is also the correct statement. See, all annuals and biennials are monocarpic because they produce flowers only once in their lifetime. But perennial plants can be monocarpic or polycarpic. Bamboo is a perennial plant which produces flowers only once. Therefore, it is a perennial monocarpic plant. But Neelakuranji is a perennial polycarpic but flowers once in 12 years. Therefore, the second option is correct. The gamete production in plants takes place only by mitosis. As you know, in case of plants, we come across two types of generation, sporophytic generation and gametophytic generation. So, sporophyte is diploid, gametophyte is haploid. Gametophyte is the one that produces the gametes. So, when the gametophyte is haploid, gametes are also haploid, therefore, it has to be mitosis. Sporophyte is diploid, therefore, it will not produce gametes, it produces only the spores. So, sporophyte produces the spores which are haploid, this is by the meiosis. Therefore, in plants, spore production takes place by meiosis, but gamete production takes place by mitosis. Therefore, the gamete production in plant takes place only by mitosis, not by meiosis. But in case of honeybee, if queen bee is diploid, because in sex determination honeybee is haplodiploid. Queen bee is diploid, therefore it produces the gametes by meiosis, but drones, the males, which are haploid, where they produce the gametes by mitosis. So, in honeybee we can see the gamete production both by mitosis as well as in meiosis, but in all plants gamete production takes place by mitosis. Therefore, all these three statements are correct. But the question says which is the incorrect statement. External fertilization is seen in cartilaginous fishes. External fertilization is a characteristic of some amphibians and bony fishes, not cartilaginous fishes. In cartilaginous fishes, it is internal fertilization. Sharks have a special copulatory organs, so claspers, to deposit their sperms into the genital tract of the female. Therefore, in cartilaginous fishes, it should be not external, it is internal fertilization. Therefore, the incorrect statement is D. D is the incorrect statement. We shall move on to the next question. Identify the option with correct labeling for A, B, C and D in the following diagram. See, to answer these type of questions, you need to be thorough with the diagrams. You need to be thorough with all the diagrams there in your textbook, both first PUC and second PUC textbook. See here the A represents the testis. As you know, it is a reproductive system of the earthworm which has both ovaries and the testis. It is a hermaphrodite. Though the earthworm is a hermaphrodite having both testes and the ovaries, it will not show self-fertilization. It goes only for cross-fertilization because testes mature earlier than the ovaries. Protandry condition. Therefore, it fertilizes only by cross-fertilization, not by self-fertilization. So, A is the testis. A is the testis. B, it is a section of the cockroach. So, cockroach exhibits sexual dimorphism. So, sexes are separate. So, this is the structure of ovaries. Ovaries. Then third one, so here the Markensia. Here, this is antheridiophore. Antheridiophore will be having irregular boundary. See in the diagram, Archegoniophore having a circular, a neat boundary where you can easily distinguish. This is the antheridiophore of Markensia. Last diagram is the Cara. D is the oogonium. D is the oogonium. You can also call it as nucleus, the female reproductive part, whereas this is the male reproductive part called as antheridium or antheridiophore. Antheridiophore, which is globular in shape, is also called as globule. So, the option A is testis, A is testis here, B is ovary, and this is antheridophore, not archegoniophore. Then this is oogonium. Oogonium can also be called as nucleus. Therefore, the correct option that is the D. Next question. So D is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the haplontic life cycle? Haplontic life cycle, so this can be seen only in case of the lower organisms like algae and fungi. In haplontic life cycle, there is a male which is haploid gametophyte, a female gametophyte, both are haploid. They produce the gametes by mitosis. Of course, in all plants the gamete production takes place by mitosis, which are haploid. When these two fuse, you will get a diploid zygote. But here, as there is alternation of generation, zygote can be considered as a sporophyte. It will not develop into a sporophyte. This undergoes meiosis. So zygotic meiosis is a characteristic of the organisms that exhibit haploid life cycle, like Volvox, Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, etc. And this undergoes meiosis to produce the haploid spores, which develops into gametophyte. Therefore, here the diploid is restricted only to the zygote, and all major stages are haploid. Therefore, it is called as haplontic life cycle. Zygote divides mitotically. No, zygote is dividing meiotically. Therefore, this cannot be the right statement. Zygote divides meiotically to form diploid spores, but here actually the spores are haploid. Therefore, this is the wrong statement. Zygote divides meiotically to form haploid spores. This is correct statement. Zygote divides mitotically. No, it is by meiosis. Therefore, the correct answer is the C. Next question. The life cycle of algae and fungi is haplontic. Naturally, their plant body is haploid. Which of the following statements is correct regarding haplontic life cycle? So, in the previous question, I have explained that the algae and fungi are haploid. Therefore, they produce the gametes by mitosis, and the resulting zygote undergoes meiosis. Adult is diploid. No, it cannot be diploid. Adult is haploid, shows gametic meiosis. So, gametes will not undergo meiosis. Therefore, wrong. Adult is diploid, wrong. Adult is haploid and shows zygotic meiosis. So, this is the correct statement. Therefore, the answer is D. We shall move on to the next question. Zygotic meiosis is seen in. Zygotic meiosis can be seen only in the organisms that exhibit haplontic life cycle. So, I already told you Volvox and even Chlamydomonas and even in Spirogyra. These are the organisms which exhibit haplontic life cycle. Therefore, zygotic meiosis is seen in Volvox, Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra. Gymnosperm shows haplodiplontic life cycle because in gymnosperms and angiosperms it is diplontic. So, gymnosperms and angiosperms diplontic life cycle, because the haploidy condition is restricted only to the male and female gametophyte, that is pollen grain and embryo sac. In gymnosperms it is endosperm. Ectocarpus is an algae which shows haplodiplontic life cycle. A very rare thing. Algae can exhibit haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle, and also haplodiplontic life cycle. See Volvox, Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra. So, these are the algae which exhibit haplontic life cycle. Ectocarpus is the algae which exhibit haplodiplontic life cycle. Fucus is a algae, a green algae, which exhibit diplontic life cycle. Actually, this is taken from your first PUC, but with respect to this question, zygotic meiosis, that is only in Volvox, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. Therefore, the answer is Volvox. Next question. The heterothallic and dioecious condition is not used to describe. Hetero means different thallus. So, what is thallus? Thallus is a plant body which is not differentiated into root, stem and leaf. So, it is a characteristic of lower organ, thallophytes, algae, fungi, lichens. So, lichen is a composition of algae and fungi. So, here the body is thalloid, thallus body where the root, stem and leaf are not distinguished. Heterothallic, hetero means different. One is male thallus, other one is female thallus, therefore unisexuality condition. and dioecious. Dioecious where the sexes are separate. So heterothallic dioecious applies to, both of them applies to unisexual condition. Let us go to the options. Staminate flowers. These are the male flowers. Male flowers, of course, they are unisexual. Pistillate flowers. These are the female flowers. Of course, they are unisexual. Unisexual condition, that is also correct. So heterothallic and dioecious condition can be used for staminate, pistillate and unisexual flowers, but not used. It cannot be used for bisexual condition. Therefore, the answer is bisexual condition. The heterothallic and dioecious condition cannot be bisexual. It is unisexual. Next question. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the bisexual and unisexual condition in plants? Heterothallic. So heterothallic means unisexual. Dioecious is also unisexual. Terms are used to describe bisexual condition. Therefore, it is wrong because these two terms for unisexual condition. Heterothallic, unisexual. Monoecious. See, monoecious is a condition where the plant has both male and female. Plant is bisexual. So in monoecious you will find male and female. Plant is bisexual. Heterothallic is unisexual, but monoecious bisexual, but it is used for unisexual. It cannot be the answer. Homothallic and dioecious. Homothallic where male and female structures are present on the same. So it is bisexual. Dioecious, it is unisexual. So unisexual is applicable only for dioecious but not for homothallic. Homothallic, bisexual condition. Unisexual, monoecious also bisexual condition. So this is for bisexual. This is for bisexual with respect to the plant. Therefore, homothallic and monoecious terms can be used for the bisexual condition. Therefore, the answer is D. The difference between bisexual flower, see, in case of monoecious plant, they have male flowers and also female flowers on separate branches. It is monoecious. Bisexual flower is the one which is having both stamens and pistil in the same flower. But with respect to the question, homothallic and monoecious go with the bisexual condition of the plant, not the flower. Therefore, this is the correct answer. Next option. Next question. Which of the following organism is not hermaphrodite? Hermaphrodite is the organism which has testes and ovaries in the same organism. Generally, we use the term hermaphrodite and homophrodite for the animals. For plants, we use the terms monoecious, dioecious, bisexual, unisexual, etc. See, leech is a organism which is hermaphrodite, having both male and female structures. Earthworm also has a hermaphrodite which has both male and female structures, which can show only cross-pollination but not self-pollination. So tapeworm is a parasite in the intestine, which is also having both testes and the ovaries. Therefore, all these three are hermaphrodite. But the question says, is not a hermaphrodite. So cockroach is not a hermaphrodite. So cockroach is a homophrodite, where it exhibits sexual dimorphism, where males are characterized by the presence of the anal styles, which you don't find in female cockroach. There are so many other differences also. So with respect to the question, cockroach is not a hermaphrodite. Therefore, the answer is cockroach. Move on to the next question. Select the odd one with respect to the post-fertilization events. So what happens after the fertilization in case of plants? Ovule develops into a seed. Of course, ovule develops into a seed, correct. Integuments become seed coats, namely the testa and tegumen. Outer integument become testa, inner integument tegumen. That's also correct. Functional megaspore develops into embryo sac. It is not a post-fertilization change. It occurs before fertilization. Zygote develops into embryo. See, option A, C and D are the events which takes place after post-fertilization, but integuments develop, A, B and D. Functional megaspore, it is not a post-fertilization event. Therefore, the odd one in this is the third option, functional megaspore into embryo sac. We shall move on to the next question. Development of fruit without fertilization is called apomixis. Apomixis is also called as agamospermy. Agamospermy. It's nothing but asexual reproduction which is characterized by non-fusion of the gametes, agamospermy, or you can call it as asexual reproduction, no problem. Amphimixis, it is nothing but the sexual reproduction where the pronucleus of the sperm fuses with the pronucleus of the egg to form a syncaryon, a zygotic nucleus, which is called as amphimixis. So it is a sexual reproduction, fusion of male and female gametes to form a zygotic nucleus. Parthenocarpy, carpel is a part of the pistil. Parthenocarpy, it is a process where a fruit developed from unfertilized ovary. Development of fruit without fertilization is called parthenocarpy. So this is the correct option, answer for the given question. What is parthenogenesis? It is the development of unfertilized egg into an individual. Generally you get confused between these two, parthenocarpy and parthenogenesis. Parthenocarpy is development of unfertilized ovary into a fruit is parthenocarpy, whereas unfertilized egg develops into an individual. Like example, drones. Drones are developed from unfertilized eggs. You can use the term parthenoids. Parthenoids are the organisms which are developed from unfertilized egg. Therefore, the development of fruit without fertilization is called parthenocarpy. The answer is parthenocarpy. Next question. Animals that do not give birth to young ones. As you know, the animals are classified into oviparous, viviparous and ovoviviparous. Oviparous animals are those which lay eggs. Viviparous animals are those which give birth to young ones, but here the mother provides nourishment in the womb. In ovoviviparous, they give birth to young ones, but after the birth, the mother is not providing any nourishment. In ovoviviparous animals, they are giving birth to the young ones, but the developing embryo depends on the food which is stored in the egg already. Here the mother is not directly providing any nourishment when it is inside the body. Therefore, we call it as ovoviviparous animals. See, peripatus, shark, they comes under ovoviviparous animals. So both viviparous and ovoviviparous animals give birth to young ones. Animals that do not give birth to young ones are, it is only ovoviviparous, they give birth to young ones, viviparous give birth to young ones. See, both B and C give birth to young ones. Therefore, those which do not give birth to young ones are oviparous animals. Therefore, the answer is oviparous. So with this, the break, sir. You can just raise your hand. Next topic is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In this topic, we talk about the flower, a modified shoot for sexual reproduction. So we talk about different parts of the flower, structure of stamen, that is microsporophyll, then microsporangium, that is a pollen sac, and the pollen grain, a male gametophyte. We talk about the formation of pollen grain under microsporogenesis. Then we talk about the different parts of the pistil. Then megasporangium, structure of ovule, and also the embryo. We talk about megasporogenesis, and you need to know about the differences between microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. Once the pollen grain and the egg are formed, then we talk about the pollination and the type of pollination, autogamy, allogamy, xenogamy, geitonogamy, etc. Then you need to know about the inbreeding and outbreeding devices, the devices that helps in self-pollination and also the devices that helps in the cross-pollination, or the devices which favor only cross-pollination. Then we talk about artificial hybridization to obtain the plants with the desired characteristics. Then double fertilization, which is a characteristic of only angiosperms. Then we talk about the embryo, both monocot and dicot embryo, formation of seed and the fruit, and an important topic like apomixis and polyembryony. So these are some of the topics which we study under the chapter 2. So we will go by the questions. First question, in flowering plants, archisporium gives rise to? There are four options: wall of sporangium, wall and sporogenous tissue, tapetum and sporogenous tissue, tapetum and endothecium. See, there is an outermost layer called epidermis. Below the epidermis, there is a hypodermal cell called archisporium, archisporial cell. So these are diploid cells. Sporophyte. Archisporial cell divides to produce a primary parietal cell and primary sporogenous cell. Primary parietal cell is the one which gives rise to the layers endothecium of anther wall, middle layers and the tapetum. Therefore, the anther wall is formed by primary parietal cell of the archisporium, whereas primary sporogenous tissue produces, sporogenous cell produces sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous tissue cells differentiate into pollen mother cell, or you can call it as microspore mother cell. Generally, we use the term MMC for megaspore mother cell. In order to avoid confusion, for microspore mother cell, we use the term pollen mother cell, where each pollen mother cell which is diploid, which undergoes first meiosis 1 to produce a pollen diad, haploid cells. Pollen diad undergoes meiosis 2, second meiosis, together called meiosis, to produce a pollen tetrad. The pollen tetrad, the cells separate to form the microspores, and this process is called microsporogenesis, which is produced from the primary sporogenous cell. Here the archisporium gives rise to the wall and also the sporogenous tissue. Therefore, the answer is the B. Next question. The anther wall consists of 4 wall layers where, see, if you take the anther wall, the outermost layer is the epidermis, a protective layer. Then the second layer is endothecium, which has radially elongated cells with hygroscopic lateral walls which absorb water, and the middle layer of cells which store the food, and the last layer, the tapetum. And all this is sporophyte. Therefore, here the cells are 2n, cells are 2n, cells are 2n. But in the tapetum, because of endopolyploidy, the cells may have many nucleus, 2n, 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 2n. So, outermost layer epidermis, then we have endothecium, middle layer of cells, tapetum. These 4 forms the anther wall. Endothecium lies inner to middle layer. Endothecium lies to epidermis, not inner to middle layer. Therefore, this is a wrong statement. Tapetum lies just inner to the endothecium. This is endothecium, and after endothecium there is a middle layer. Therefore, this is a wrong statement. Tapetum lies next to epidermis. Tapetum is the innermost layer. Therefore, this is also wrong statement. Middle layer lie between endothecium and tapetum. Therefore, the correct option is D. Next question. Which of the following is wrongly paired with respect to the ploidy? Antipodal cells. Say, antipodal cells are the cells which are found in embryo sac, just opposite to the egg apparatus having egg cell, and egg cells are always associated with synergids. In the center, there are 2 polar nuclei, haploid cell, haploid cell, haploid, 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 all haploid cells. So, antipodal cells are haploid, correct. Tapetal cell is a part of sporophyte. Therefore, it exhibits endopolyploidy. Therefore, it should be 2n plus 2n plus 2n as I have shown in the previous slide. Then endothecium cells are diploid, correct. Polar nucleus is haploid, correct. But here for the tapetum, it is given as n. Therefore, wrong one is the B. Tapetal cells are 2n, 2n, 2n. Because of endoploidy, it is not n. N can be seen in gametophyte, but tapetal cell belongs to the sporophyte, which is diploid. Therefore, the answer is tapetal cell. Next question. Which sequence correctly represents the order of the structures that will form in the process of microsporogenesis? See, microsporogenesis is the formation of microspores from pollen mother cell. See, here we have the primary sporogenous tissue which give rise to pollen mother cell. Pollen mother cell undergo meiosis to produce pollen tetrad or microspore tetrad, which separates to form microspores, which develops into the pollen grains. Therefore, the correct sequence is sporogenous tissue, then pollen mother cell, microspore tetrad, then the pollen grain, microspore and pollen grain. Therefore, in the given option, first option sporogenous tissue, correct, pollen mother cell, microspore and pollen tetrad. So the first option is correct, but in the second it starts with the pollen grain, wrong. Third one sporogenous tissue, okay, but microspore tetrad, wrong. Fourth option pollen grain, wrong. Therefore, the correct answer is the first one. Next question, the wall of the pollen grain is known as sporoderm. The two layers of sporoderm are, see, pollen grain is called as male gametophyte because it produces male gametes. Pollen grain has two cells. One is the generative cell, which floats in the cytoplasm of vegetative cell. Vegetative cell. It is covered by two layers. The intine made up of pectocellulose and exine made up of a highly resistant chemical called sporopollenin, and this can be asked very importantly. Intine and exine together constitutes the sporoderm. Therefore, exine and intine is the answer. Integument and nucellus. See, integument, see in megasporangium or ovule, there are outer two coverings called integuments. Then there is a nutritive tissue called nucellus. Within this, there is a female gametophyte called embryo sac. Therefore, integument and nucellus are the part of ovule, also called megasporangium. Pericarp, pericarp is the fruit wall. Perisperm, it is a remnant of nucellus found in the seeds of pepper and also beet. Therefore, this cannot be the answer. Testa and tegmen, outer integument. Once the ovule develops into a seed, outer integument develops into testa, inner integument develops into tegmen. Therefore, testa and tegmen are the seed coats. Pericarp is a fruit wall. Perisperm is a remnant of nucellus. Therefore, for the question, the correct option is D, exine and intine. Next question. How many microspore mother cells will give rise to 512 gametes? Say, as you know, one pollen mother cell undergoes meiosis to produce a pollen tetrad, to produce 4 microspores, which develop into a two-celled pollen grain, and each pollen grain produces 2 gametes. Therefore, one pollen mother cell can produce 8 gametes. But 512 gametes are produced from how many microspore mother cells? Therefore, 512 divided by 8. So, 8 6 are, then 8 4 are. Therefore, 512 male gametes are produced from 64 microspore mother cells. If the question is from how many microspores, then it should be divided by 2. Therefore, the answer is 64. Next question. There are 10 flowers in one individual plant of Datura. In each microsporangium of every stamen of all the flowers, there are 20 microspore mother cells. How many pollen grains are formed from that plant? See, 20 microspore mother cells, 20 microspore mother cells, and each microspore mother cell can produce 4 microspores. Therefore, 80 microspores can be produced. Microspores. And the flowers of Datura are dithecous. They have tetrasporangiate. From one chamber 80, therefore for 4 chambers, that is for one stamen, 80 into 4, it is 320 microspores are produced from one stamen. Each flower has 5 stamens. Each flower has 5 stamens. Therefore, 320 into 5, 50, 5 2s are 10, 1. It is 1600 for one flower. But how many flowers? 10 flowers. Therefore, 10 into 1600, it will be 16,000 microspores. So, it will be 16,000 microspores. If the question is how many gametes, suppose if the question is instead of microspores, if it is how many gametes, then again it should be multiplied by 2. So, you will get 32,000 gametes. Therefore, for the given question, the answer is 16,000. Next question. How many meiosis and mitosis are required for the production of 10 male gametes from pollen mother cell respectively? One pollen mother cell undergo one meiosis to produce 4 microspores. Each microspore undergo one mitosis to produce 2 cell pollen grain. Again, one more mitosis to produce 2 male gametes. So, one pollen mother cell to produce the 2 male gametes, 2 mitosis and 1 meiosis. To produce 4 gametes, 4 mitosis, 1 meiosis. To produce 6 mitosis, 1 meiosis. To produce 8, it should be 8 mitosis and 1 meiosis. But here 10, therefore you have to go for one more pollen mother cell, which will also produce 4 microspores, and this will produce 2 gametes. So, you will get 10 mitosis but 1 meiosis here. Therefore, it should be 2 meiosis and 10 mitosis. Therefore, the answer is 2 and 10. 2 pollen mother cells has to undergo 2 meiosis, and even up to 16 also, only 2 meiosis, 16 gametes can be produced by, see, number of gametes and number of meiosis are same, but meiosis up to 16 it is 2 meiosis. Suppose if it is 18, then you have to go for 3 meiosis. Therefore, the answer is B. Next question. The ploidy of endothecium, microspore mother cell, microspore and generative cell is. See, endothecium is a part of anther, it is sporophyte, therefore it is diploid. Microspore mother cell, it is also diploid. Microspore, it is haploid. Generative cell is haploid, therefore it should be 2n, 2n, n, n. Therefore, the option B is correct. Next question. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the pollen grain? The outermost layer of pollen is exine, correct. Which is made up of pectin? No, it is made up of sporopollenin. The innermost layer of pollen is intine, correct. Which is made up of pectin? This is correct, pectin and cellulose. The outermost layer of pollen is intine, wrong. The innermost layer of pollen is exine, wrong. Therefore, the correct option is B. Next question. Carpels are modified. See, when we talk about a flower, flower is a modified shoot for the sexual reproduction. So, aerial shoot system, underground root system. Say for example, here we have a branch having many leaves. This condenses. When it condenses, these are all the nodes. These leaves may form sepals, next leaves may form petals, next leaves may form the stamen, next leaves may form the gynoecium. So, here each orals of a flower are the modified leaves. These are all the modified leaves. Sepals are the modified leaves for protection again. Petals are the modified leaves to attract pollinators. Stamens are the modified leaves for the production of microspores. Therefore, stamen is also called as microsporophyle. Phyll means leaf. Microspore producing leaf. Whereas gynoecium, or we can call it the pistil. Pistil is made up of gynoecium or pistil is made up of one or many carpels. So, carpels are the units of gynoecium. See, the outermost oral calyx, the units are sepals. Second oral corolla, the units are petals. These two together can be called as perianth. In a homoclimadious flower, you cannot differentiate them, where the units of perianth are called as tepals. Whereas carpel is meant for production of megaspore, therefore it is also called as megasporophyll. Carpels are modified leaves. The answer is leaves. Next question. Megasporophyll is, I already explained in the previous slide. megaspore producing leaf. Megaspore producing leaf is carpel. See, ovule is called as megasporangium, whereas microsporangium is pollen sac or pollen chamber. Then ovary, carpel. Embryo sac is a female gametophyte. Embryo sac is a female gametophyte of angiosperms. But in gymnosperms, female gametophyte is endosperm. Endosperm is female gametophyte in gymnosperms and it is haploid, whereas male gametophyte is pollen grain in both gymnosperms and angiosperms. Therefore, pollen grain is a male gametophyte in both angiosperms and gymnosperms because it produces male gametes. But female gametophyte is embryo sac in angiosperms, but in gymnosperms it is endosperm, it is haploid pre-fertilized product. This is very important. So, for the given question, the answer is C, that is carpel. Next question. The statement given below describes certain features that are observed in the pistil of a flower. Pistil is synonymous to gynoecium made up of one or many carpels. Pistil may produce more than one seed. Certainly, it is correct. Each carpel may have more than one ovule. So, ovules are the ones which develop into seeds. Therefore, each carpel can have many ovules. Each carpel has only one ovule. So, they may have one or many. Therefore, this is a wrong statement. Pistil have only one carpel. It can have one carpel when we call it as monocarpellary. It may have many carpels, multicarpellary. If the carpels are fused, we use the term syncarpous. If they are free, we call it as apocarpous. Therefore, pistil can have many carpels. Therefore, this is also wrong statement. So, here choose the statement that are true, that are correct. Here the correct statements are only 1 and 2. Therefore, the answer is A. Next question. Identify the type of pistil in the diagram. So, when you look at this diagram, here the carpels are fused. It is multicarpellary syncarpous. Multicarpellary syncarpous pistil of it is papaver. This diagram is multicarpellary syncarpous pistil of papaver. So, on the sides, this is not included under the question. On the side, I have given another diagram. Here many carpels, but here the carpels are not fused. So, it is a characteristic of Michaelia. Therefore, if this is the diagram, your answer should be this, that is A. But for the given question, the answer is B. Next question. Which of the following embryo sac diagram is correctly labeled? So, to choose the correct one, in the first one, you first check the polar nucleus. Polar nuclei are in the center. Polar nuclei, but here it is egg. Therefore, this is wrong. Here it is synergate. This is wrong. Now, you have two options, 1 and 2. Egg is always associated with the synergates because synergates are characterized by the presence of filiform apparatus here. But here egg is associated with the antipodals, so this cannot be the answer. Therefore, the correct answer is the 2, where egg is having synergates with the filiform apparatus and the cells which present towards the other end opposite to the egg apparatus, that is towards the chalazal end, they are antipodals. Therefore, the correct diagram here is the B, that is second one, sorry. In the formation of embryo sac, the functional megaspore undergoes. So, this is the megasporangium with the outer integument and inner integument. This is chalaza, micropyle, hilum, the funicle attached to the placenta. And here you have nucellus. The entire thing is sporophyte. One of the cell towards the micropyle and differentiate into megaspore mother cell. This divides meiotically to produce a linear tetrad of megaspores. Out of them, the 3 will disappear and the remaining one is called as functional megaspore. Now, this functional megaspore with a haploid nucleus undergoes first mitotic division to produce 2 nucleus which move to the opposite poles. Then second mitotic division to produce 4 nucleus. Then third mitotic division to produce 8 nucleus. So totally there are 3 mitotic division takes place in the functional megaspore to produce 8 nuclei. Once the 8 nucleus are formed, 2 nucleus move to the center, which are called as polar nuclei as they move from the poles, and these 3 are called as antipodals, polar nuclei, and here the egg apparatus having an egg cell and 2 synergids with the filiform apparatus. Therefore, a functional megaspore develops into a mature embryo sac by undergoing 3 mitotic division. Suppose if the question starts with a megaspore mother cell, then it should include 1 meiosis and 3 mitosis. Embryo sac from if the question is megaspore, instead of megaspore, functional megaspore, if it is megaspore mother cell, then answer should be 1 meiosis, 3 mitosis. For the given question, 3 mitotic division. Next question. The only cells that undergo meiotic division in angiosperms are, the only cells that undergo meiosis in angiosperms, flowering plants, are spore mother cells. Microspore mother cells to produce the microspores and megaspore mother cells to produce the megaspores. Because in plants, the gamete production takes place by mitosis because the gametophyte is haploid. Therefore, in the given options, only the megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to produce the megaspore, that is embryo sac. Then microspore mother cell produces the microspores, that is pollen grain. Therefore, here the answer is B. Next question. The plant pod which consists of 2 generations, one within the other. Germinated pollen grain. See, germinated pollen grain where all the cells are haploid. Gametes are haploid, gametes are haploid. Therefore, it is only gametophyte. Matured embryo sac. See, in matured embryo sac, we have antipodals, 2 polar nucleus n plus n and XL n, synergids n. It is matured, all haploid. Therefore, this cannot be the answer. Matured ovule. See, in the mature ovule, we have integuments which are diploid, nucellus which is also diploid, and it is having haploid embryo sac. Embryo sac is female gametophyte, whereas nucellus and integuments belongs to sporophyte. So mature ovule is a structure which has both sporophytic tissue, that is integument and nucellus, gametophyte, that is embryo sac. Therefore, mature ovule has the 2 generations, that is both sporophytic, a diploid, and a gametophytic haploid generation, and immature anther. So immature anther will be having outer epidermis diploid, endothecium diploid, middle layer diploid, tapetum 2n, 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 endopolyploidy. The immature will be having all sporogenous cells which are diploid, and this entire thing is diploid. Therefore, immature anther is only sporophyte. But at maturity, it will be having haploid pollen grains. Then, if the option is mature anther, both can be the answer. But here, the correct answer is mature ovule. Suppose in D, if there is a mature anther, both can be the answers. But for the given question, the correct answer is mature ovule, because embryo sac is female gametophyte, whereas nucellus and integuments are sporophytes. Therefore, the answer is mature ovule. Chromosome number in which of the following cell is same as that of the myocyte? See, myocyte is always diploid. Antipodals are haploid, so wrong. Tapetal cells are 2n plus 2n plus 2n, so therefore this is wrong. Endothecium is 2n, polar nucleus is haploid, therefore 2n, 2n, the answer is endothecium. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant is called. See here, a bisexual flower. The plant is bisexual. Flowers are also bisexual. Plant is bisexual. This is the male plant. Flowers are also male staminate flowers. Female plant, pistillate flowers. You will find male flowers and also female flowers. this is called monoecious. When male and female plants different, it is called dioecious. A plant having male, female and also bisexual is polygamous. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. So when the pollen grain transfer from pollen to the stigma of another flower of the same plant, this is possible in bisexual plant and also in monoecious plant, so which is called as geitonogamy. So geitonogamy means neighboring, whereas xenogamy, transfer of pollen from between the plants. Homogamy, within the flower where stamen and the pistil mature at the same time. Autogamy, that is nothing but the pollination within the flower. Xenogamy, it is between the flowers of the two genetically different plants. Geitonogamy, between the flowers of the same plant. Homogamy, within the flower. Autogamy, within the flower. Therefore, transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant, it is geitonogamy. Therefore, the answer is geitonogamy. Next question. Which of the following condition will be true if male and female flowers are present on different plants? See, this is male, here is female. This can be seen in date palm papaya. So here, when you have only male and only female plants, homogamy is not possible, geitonogamy is not possible. The only possibility is xenogamy. Only autogamy is prevented. See, even geitonogamy is also prevented. Only xenogamy is prevented. You cannot prevent xenogamy because xenogamy is possible. Both autonogamy is, geitonogamy is prevented. So both autogamy and geitonogamy is not possible. Both geitonogamy and xenogamy are prevented. So here the answer is both autogamy and geitonogamy is prevented. Because autonogamy is not possible because they are unisexual plant. Geitonogamy is also not possible because they are unisexual. Geitonogamy are possible only when the plant is monoecious or bisexual. Therefore, the answer is C. Next question. Unisexuality of flowers prevent. When the flowers are unisexual, autogamy is not possible, but if it is monoecious, geitonogamy is possible. Geitonogamy is possible and xenogamy is also possible. They cannot prevent. So this is possible. In autogamy, unisexuality, autogamy is not possible, but geitonogamy is possible. Geitonogamy is possible, but xenogamy is also possible. Autonogamy, but not, it can prevent autogamy, but not geitonogamy. Therefore, the answer is D. Next question. Heterozygosity. Heterozygosity is due to the pollination brought about by the genetically dissimilar plants. Therefore, it has to be xenogamy. Cleistogamy, cleistogamous flowers are those which do not bloom, which favors self-pollination. Autogamy, self-pollination. Geitonogamy, see, in autogamy, it is a pollination within the flower. Geitonogamy, between the flowers of the same plant. Xenogamy, between the flowers of genetically dissimilar plant. Therefore, heterozygosity is possible in xenogamy. Next question. Pollination by birds is called malacophily. Malacophily is pollination by snails. Ornithophily, pollination by birds. Cheiropterophily, pollination by bats. Myrmecophily, pollination by ants. In addition to this, anemophily, pollination by wind, not by animals. Zoophily, pollination by animals. See, don't get confused between this. Anemophily by wind, zoophily by animals. Of course, all this comes under zoophily, but here pollination by birds is ornithophily. Therefore, the answer is B. Next question. Which of the following feature is not found in wind-pollinated flowers? Well-exposed stamens is a characteristic of wind-pollinated flower. Light and non-sticky pollen grain is also a characteristic of wind-pollinated flower. Brightly colored showy petals is required for anemophilous flowers. That is insect pollinated, not anemophilous, entomophilous flowers or insect, not for anemophilous flowers. Pollen production is huge quantity. Therefore, this character is not required for anemophilous or wind pollinated flowers. Therefore, the option C. Sir, stop one nimisha. Next question. In which one of the following pollination is only autogamous? See, xenogamy, it is the pollination brought about between genetically dissimilar plants. Chasmogamy, so chasmogamous flowers are those which bloom where they can go for both self as well as cross pollination, that is both autogamy and allogamy. Cleistogamy, it is a case where the flowers do not bloom, therefore only autogamy is possible. It is one of the contrivance for self pollination. Allogamy is again, it is a pollination between the flowers of two genetically different plants, therefore the answer is cleistogamy. Next question. Device for self pollination is, so for the self pollination to occur, we can also call it as contrivances for self pollination, or you can also call it as inbreeding devices. For inbreeding or self pollination, first of all the flower must be bisexual, or the flower must be cleistogamous flowers, or the pollination must occur in the bud, so bud pollination. So when these are all the conditions, then only the self pollination is flavored. Hercogamy, where there is a barrier which prevents the pollination, therefore they have to go for cross pollination here. Dichogamy is a condition where there is a difference in their maturity. Androecium mature first, which is called as protandry. This can be seen in cotton and sunflower. Whereas protogyny, which can be seen in Mirabilis jalapa. So here androecium matures but the gynoecium is not ready. Here gynoecium matures but the androecium is not ready. Therefore they have to go for cross pollination. Dicliny is bisexual condition. In bisexual condition there are both the possibilities. Autogamy is also possible, allogamy is also not possible. Only autogamy or self pollination is possible only in the condition of cleistogamy. Therefore the answer is C, cleistogamy. Consider the genetic basis incompatibility, which of the following option is correct. Male plant is S1, S3. So here all the gametes are S1, S3. So it is not very clear in the diagram. Whereas female plant is S1 and S2. So here the eggs are S1 and S2 in all the case. See, what is incompatibility? If the pollen grain from the same flower or from the same plant falls on the stigma, germination does not occur. So in the first diagram, it is S1, S2, S1 is germinated, S1 cannot germinate because S1, S1, so there is incompatibility, S1 cannot germinate, S3 can germinate, S1 and S2 germinate, this is not possible. In the second case, both are not germinated. See, there is a possibility where S3 can germinate, therefore this is also not possible. In third, S1 germinate. See, this is also S1, this is also S1, same plant, therefore in self incompatibility there is no germination, therefore this is also not possible. See, here S3 is germinating. Here we have S1 and S2, S3 means it is from some other plant, therefore only S3 germinates, therefore the correct answer is the D. Next question. Match the plants in column 1 with the contrivances for cross pollination, nothing but the outbreeding devices. Mentioned in the column 2, choose the correct option. Sunflower, which I already mentioned, sunflower we have protandry. Mirabilis jalapa, protogyny. In calotropis, there is a barrier between the stamen and the pistil which prevents self pollination and favors cross pollination, hercogamy. So in primrose, varied length of the stamen and the pistil, heterostyly. In potato, it is self-sterility, not only in potato, even in petunia and tobacco. There is self-sterility. Therefore, if you go by this, the answer is the D. Next question. Both autogamy and geitonogamy are prevented in. See, autogamy and geitonogamy is prevented only when the plant is dioecious. It is dioecious. because if it is monoecious, geitonogamy is possible and even xenogamy is also possible. Suppose the plant is bisexual, autogamy is also possible. Autogamy and geitonogamy both can be prevented only when the plant is dioecious, like papaya, date palm. In papaya and date palm, they are dioecious plants. They can go for only xenogamy or allogamy. Therefore, the answer is papaya. Cucumber, monoecious, castor, maize, in all these things. So, xenogamy is possible, autogamy possible. Therefore, papaya is the right answer. Next question. Which of the following statement is wrong? Unisexual producing flowers are also called dioecious plants. It is a correct statement. Homogamy and geitonogamy do not occur in papaya. This is correct because the plant is dioecious. In dioecious plants only xenogamy possible, not homogamy, or you can say autogamy and geitonogamy. In castor and maize, geitonogamy is prevented but not homogamy. So, this is a wrong statement. See, homogamy can be prevented. Homogamy or autogamy is prevented but not geitonogamy because these are monoecious. In monoecious plants, autogamy, see, you can read it as autogamy. You can read this as autogamy, that is pollination within the flower, because they produce unisexual flowers. Unisexual flowers, but the plant is bisexual. Self-sterility is seen in potato, tobacco and petunia, which I discussed in the previous slide. Therefore, which of the following statement is wrong? So, this statement is wrong. You have to correct form is in castor and maize, geitonogamy is prevented but not homogamy. But here, homogamy is prevented but not geitonogamy. Therefore, the correct option is C. Next question. The fertilization in which male gametes are carried through the pollen tube is known as, we have ovary, style, stigma, inside the ovary, ovule with the embryo sac antipodals, polar nuclei and egg cell with the synergids. When the pollen grain falls here, we have generative cell, vegetative cell, exine. At some regions there are no exine called germ pore. Here the intine develops into pollen tube. In the pollen tube, the vegetative cell nucleus disintegrates, the generative cell nucleus produces the two gametes. When the gametes are carried by that pollen tube which passes through the style, then we use the term siphonogamy. So, siphonogamy is the term. Syngamy is the fusion of gametes. Syngamy is fusion of gametes. Porogamy, when the pollen tube enters through the micropylar region, we call it as porogamy. Chalazogamy, when it enters through the chalaza, we call it as chalazogamy. If it enters laterally through the integuments, we call it as mesogamy. See, siphonogamy, this porogamy and chalazogamy are the terms, and even one more term, that is mesogamy, are the terms which are used based on the entry of the pollen tube into the ovule. Therefore, for this question, the correct answer is C, that is siphonogamy, where the gametes are carried by the pollen tube. Next question. Double fertilization involves. See, here we have a embryo sac, antipodals, two polar nucleus, egg cell, synergids. Pollen tube enters into the ovule with two male gametes. Synergids have filiform operators which direct the entry of the pollen tube. Two male gametes are liberated here. One of the male gamete fertilizes with the egg cell to form zygote called syngamy or generative fertilization. Before this, these two polar nuclei, they fuse together to form a diploid secondary nucleus, also called definitive nucleus, and one male gamete, another male gamete fertilizes the secondary nucleus, form a triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which develops into the future nourishing tissue, that is endosperm, which is triploid. And this is called vegetative fertilization, and this is called triple fusion. So formation of pen is due to triple fusion. Formation of zygote is called as syngamy. Syngamy and triple fusion. Syngamy and triple fusion together constitutes double fertilization. But here the gametes are carried by single pollen tube. Fertilization of egg by two male gametes. Egg fertilized by just one gamete, therefore this is a wrong statement. Fertilization of two eggs, we don't have two eggs, therefore wrong statement. Fertilization of the egg and a central cell, this is a wrong statement. Fertilization of the egg and the central cell by two sperms brought by this. Here there is different pollen tubes. It's not a different pollen tube, it is the same pollen tube. Therefore the correct option is the D. Fertilization of the egg and the central cell having the polar secondary nucleus or definitive nucleus by two sperms brought by the same pollen tube. Therefore answer D is correct. Next question. Double fertilization involves, as I have explained, double fertilization, one, the egg cell with one male gamete called syngamy. This is egg cell, this is male gamete. Another one, a diploid secondary nucleus and a male gamete, it is called triple fusion. To form a triploid primary endosperm nucleus, here to form a diploid zygote. This is called generative fertilization. This is called vegetative. Pen develops into endosperm, zygote develops into future embryo. The fusion of gametes is called syngamy and triple fusion. So the product of triple fusion is primary endosperm nucleus, the product of syngamy is zygote. Therefore these together constitute double fertilization. Therefore the answer is C. Karyogamy is the fusion of gametes. Synkaryon, fusion of the nucleus. Synkaryon is fusion of nucleus. Karyon means nucleus. Syngamy, it is fusion of gametes. Syncarpy, fusion of the carpel. Syncarpus. Therefore the correct answer is the C. Next question. The genotype of the male angiosperm plant is A. Male angiosperm plant. So this is A, diploid number, and the genotype of the female plant is, so here in the embryo sac we have B, therefore haploid number B, polar nuclei BB, XLB, synergids B, that is haploid. But here the pollen grains are A. Then the genotype of the embryo is developed from the zygote, therefore this is AB. It should be the embryo as it is developed from the zygote is AB. Endosperm, this is, so to this 2B you have to add half. Endosperm always carry the diploid number from female and haploid from the male. Therefore diploid number is BB, haploid is A, BBA is endosperm. Therefore here first is embryo is AB, endosperm is BBA. Therefore the answer is C. Next question. When tetraploid flowering plant is pollinated by hexaploid, therefore pollen grain is 6N, hexaploid. Whereas female plant, this 4N. So haploid number should be 2N, 2N, 2N. Of course here secondary nucleus is 4N, XL is 2N, synod is 2N. Whereas pollen are half of this 3N. So you have to read the question properly. When tetraploid flowering plant is pollinated by hexaploid plant. So this is tetraploid, female is tetraploid, male is hexaploid. So half of this is 3N. Then the ploidy of the endosperm 3N plus 4N. So this should be 7N. And the embryo is 3N plus 2N. This should be 5N. Therefore the answer is this. Suppose if you confuse and take this as 6N and this as 4N, then it will be 6 plus 2, 8N, and 4 plus 3, it will be 7N. Therefore your answer will be wrong. So for the given question, the correct option is the B. Next question. Which cell gives rise to endosperm after fusion with one of the two male gametes? As you know, the endosperm is formed by the central cell. we have antipodals, egg operators with egg cell and synergids. The central, after you have a triploid pen, it is the one which gives rise to endosperm, zygote gives rise to embryo, therefore it is always the central cell. See, in the matured embryo sac you will find 8 cells, but 7 cells, it is 7 celled but 8 nucleated. So this type of embryo sac is called as polygonum type of embryo sac, that is 7 celled, 8 nucleated. Therefore central cell is the one which give rise to the endosperm. Therefore the answer is central cell having primary endosperm nucleus. Next question. Find out the ploidy of A, B, D and E. First you have to see the diagram properly. Here the cells are degenerating and this is the egg cell. These two must be synergids. This should be the pen, because as they are already disappearing, these are disintegrating antipodals. So one of the synergid is damaged because of the entry of the pollen tube. So synergids are always haploid. Here egg cell, which is already fertilized, after fertilization this should be zygote, therefore it should be 2n, pen is 3n, this should be here A. So A is a synergid, it is haploid, it is zygote 2n, pen 3n, here degenerating n, therefore answer should be the B, n, 2n, 3n and n. So B is the answer. Next question. If the number of chromosomes in leaf cell is 26, leaf is always sporophyte. Sporophyte means 2n. 2n number is 26. Therefore n number is 13. Next would be the number of chromosomes in synergid. Synergid is haploid. Therefore it should be 13. Microspore tetrad. Microspore tetrad includes 4 cells. So therefore n plus n plus n plus n. Therefore 13 into 4, it will be 52. Next, definitive nucleus. Definitive nucleus is formed by the fusion of 2 polar nucleus. It will be 2n. Therefore it should be again 26. Then primary endosperm nucleus is 3n. So 3n is 26 plus 13. It will be 13, 9. So it should be 13, 52, 26, 39. Therefore in the given option the answer is B, 13, 52, 26 and 39. Next question. Identify the wrong statements regarding post fertilization changes in flowering plants. This question I already discussed even in the first chapter. The ovary wall develops into pericarp, correct, also called as fruit wall, correct. The outer integument of ovule develops into tegmen. See, this is wrong. Outer integument develops into testa. Inner integument, the tegmen is developed from inner integument. Therefore this statement is wrong. The triploid central cell develops into endosperm, I already discussed, correct. Ovule develops into seed, correct. Therefore here the statement, wrong statement is B, the answer is B. Next question. How many meiotic divisions are involved in the formation of 20 seeds in angiosperm? See, for the formation of 20 seeds, you need 20 ovule or egg cell and 20 pollen grain. 20 egg cell or 20 female gametophyte are produced from 20 megaspore mother cell, because each megaspore mother cell will produce only one egg cell or one embryo sac. But for 20 pollen grains can be produced from just 5 pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell, because each pollen mother cell can produce 4 microspores. We need 20 microspores or 20 pollen grains. So for 5 microspores, 5 meiosis. For 20 egg cell, 20 meiosis. Therefore for the production of 20 seeds, totally there should be 25 meiosis. Therefore the answer is 25. Next question. In figure, find out the coleoptile, shoot apex and epiblast. See, A is the cotyledon, single cotyledon, also called as scutellum. See, B is a covering which can be called as the coleoptile. C is axis, that is shoot apex. Shoot apex. D is the epiblast. Epiblast is nothing but a rudimentary cotyledon, which is not grown, a rudimentary cotyledon. Then here we have the coleorhiza and all those things. Here we have to concentrate on the coleoptile. You got the answer. B is the coleoptile, shoot apex C, and epiblast D. So BCD is the answer. So BCD. So look into these options also. Next question. Students, what I have observed is, say I have covered the questions in a sequence. I could cover the questions up to the formation of the embryo. So you have to go through each and every sentence from your NCERT, and you have to be very, very thorough. So if you can prepare thoroughly for the NCERT book, each and every sentence, certainly you can do very well in both CET as well as NEET examination. So I wish you all the best and a great success in your NEET and CET examination. Thank you.